how great it is to see the streets of our city filled with people who believe in justice for Palestine. Just one day after our city shamefully rolled out the red carpet for Netanyahu, the man who was ultimately responsible for carnage on the high seas. Friends, let me say, we are here today because we will not let this carnage stand. I speak to you today as a friend, as a Torontonian, as a Canadian, but also as a proud member of the advisory board of the Free Gaza Movement, which is one of the incredible organizations that sent that flotilla that was boarded last night. I support the Free Gaza Movement because the only response to illegal collective punishment is collective solidarity and collective action. That is what the Free Gaza humanitarian boats embody, and that is what you all and we all embody with our actions in the streets today. Gazans live in an open-air prison sealed off from the world. These boats, these messages, they're like the messages passed between the prison bars. In addition to desperately needed aid and supplies, they are also messages of hope and solidarity that are saying, you are not alone. We are all connected.
Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina!
And let me say this to you, those boats can be boarded. Those boats can be bloody. But those boats and the movement that they represent is unsinkable, and it is. I have friends on those boats, dear friends, and they are some of the most principled and courageous people that I have the honor to know. Now, we don't have all the facts about what happened last night. The Israeli government and its propaganda machine has made sure that we don't have all the facts, but we do know this. Israel is the clear and indisputable aggressor in this situation, having illegally sent armed soldiers onto boats in international waters. We know this. We know this. And we also know that the Israeli government committed this illegal act in order to defend its illegal siege on Gaza that has been condemned as illegal collective punishment violations of the Geneva Convention by multiple UN experts, including Richard Fall. So, of course, our first demand is to lift the illegal siege on Gaza, which is a great form of collective punishment. Right now, the only information about what's happening and what happened last night is coming to us out of Israeli propaganda. Meanwhile, the people who witnessed this and photographed it and filmed it are being held by the Israeli government, unable to communicate with the outside world. These are not arrests. These are illegal kidnappings in international waters. Let our people go. We want our friends released unharmed with their photographs, with their video. And we want that aid to go to Gaza right now. We also demand that the perpetrators of this crime, not just the individual soldiers, but the politicians who authorized this illegal assault, that they be held accountable before the law. Until Israel complies with these demands, until Israel complies with all international laws, it should face the same consequences as any rogue state, which are diplomatic and economic sanctions. We know that, but we also know, we're also not naive, and we know that the Harper government is never going to do that. In fact, the Harper government was shamefully the first government to support the illegal siege on Gaza and has actively defended every illegal action of the Israeli government since that time. So we're not waiting for any miracles now, because our government will not fulfill its duties as a government to hold Israel accountable to international law. It is our duty, our responsibility to the people of Gaza, to the people on those boats who put their lives on the line, to fill the gap left by our government. We need a people's foreign policy, a people's foreign policy that says that no state is exempt from international law, the human rights architecture that Israel violates with impunity, including the Geneva Conventions, was the international community's response to the horrors of the Nazi Holocaust. We simply cannot allow Israel and its apologists to demolish the sacred architecture that is humanity's best and only defense against barbarism. So, how do we do it? How do we fill that gap? 3 words, my friends: boycott, divestment, and sanctions.
Our only course of action! Our only course of action!
Boycott, divestment, sanctions!
Our only course of action!
Boycott, divestment, sanctions!
And I want to say a few special words to my fellow cultural workers, musicians who perform to adoring crowds in Israel without giving a moment's thought to Palestinians 15 minutes away who are not free to attend their concerts. And I have a few words for museum curators who show stolen Palestinian artifacts in buildings up the street. And I have a few words for film festival programmers who throw parties for Israeli politicians months after they wage their brutal assault on Gaza. And I also have words for famous writers who accept lavish awards and slam Palestinians for daring to ask them for a simple gesture of solidarity. This is what I have to say. When you act as if endless occupation is normal, it sends a dangerous message. It tells Israel's leaders that they can continue to unleash violence on civilians without paying a political price. Don't underestimate your power. You are an integral part of what allows Israel to act with such outrageous impunity. You are on the wrong side of history, but it is not too late to get on the right side. Join us and endorse the only nonviolent strategy that stands a chance of breaking this cycle of insanity and violence. Boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Free Palestine.